Alright, let's talk about the king. For decades, the 9mm has been the undisputed ruler of the handgun world. It's the gold standard. Police trust it, special forces run it, and let's be honest, it's probably sitting in your holster right now. And for good reason. It hit that perfect sweet spot. Good capacity, decent power, and recoil that doesn't beat you up. But here's the thing. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And the 9mm crown is starting to slip. We are seeing a massive shift in ballistics technology right now. There are new contenders on the block, engineered to be faster, hit harder, and perform in ways the 9mm just can't touch. And I'm not talking about some weird, experimental wildcat rounds you have to hand load in your garage. I'm talking about factory-supported cartridges that are gunning for the throne. Today we are counting down the top 5 calibers that are seriously challenging the status quo. We've got speed demons, capacity, monsters, and one round that I guarantee is the most versatile handgun cartridge on the planet. And stick around for the #1 spot, because while 9mm is a great do-it-all round, our top pick does it all just with a lot more horsepower. Ready to see what's coming for the 9mm? Let's get into it. Number 5. 30 Super Carry. Kicking things off at number 5, we have the contender that made everyone angry when it launched, the 30 Super Carry. When Federal first dropped this, I'll admit, a lot of us in the gun community rolled our eyes. We thought, great, another answer to a question nobody asked. But looking at the current landscape, this was actually a brilliant, calculated move. It's a direct shot at fixing the one thing 9mm can't fix: physical size. At first glance, you see a smaller bullet and think it's a downgrade. It's not. Don't let the size fool you. This little round is pushing ballistics nearly identical to standard 9mm defensive loads. We are talking 1,250 feet per second and roughly 347 foot-pounds of energy. But here is the magic trick. Because the case is slimmer, you fit more of them in the gun. If you're carrying a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus or a Nighthawk Custom, you are suddenly squeezing 12, 13, maybe 16 rounds into a frame that used to max out at 10. For a concealed carrier, that is huge. That's 2 or 3 extra chances to stop a threat without needing a bigger, heavier gun. From a shooting perspective, it's interesting. To me, the recoil impulse feels a little snappier than a 380, but softer than a 9mm. It's fast. The sights settle back on target just a fraction of a second quicker. So, while it hasn't killed the 9mm yet, the 30 Super Carry is proving to be the new Goldilocks option for deep concealment. All the power you need with the capacity you want. Number 4. 357 SIG. For number 4, we are taking a step back to a round that was ahead of its time. Sometimes the next big thing has been sitting in the safe all along. I'm talking about the 357 SIG. This round was born from a simple desire. Take the legendary, street-proven stopping power of a 357 Magnum revolver and cram it into a semi-automatic pistol. And lately, it's making a serious comeback. Why the resurgence? Because the world is getting complicated. People aren't just worried about unarmored attackers anymore, they want barrier penetration. This round is an absolute laser beam. It shoots incredibly flat and screams out of the barrel at over 1,450 feet per second. That velocity does something 9mm struggles with. It punches through barriers. Auto glass, heavy clothing, car doors, the 357 SIG ignores them. Now, let's be real about the shooting experience. It's loud. It's got a distinct crack to it that lets everyone on the range know you aren't shooting at 9mm. The recoil is snappy, but it's not uncontrollable. If you pick up a Glock 31 or a Glock 32, you'll feel that energy, but with a modern compensator, it runs flat. Think of it this way. 9mm was designed for balance. 357 SIG was designed for raw, kinetic energy. You might give up a round or two of capacity, but you are gaining about 25% more energy on target. If you want a round that hits like a freight train, this is it.
Hey, real quick, before we get to the heavy hitters, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want to stay ahead of the curve on guns and gear, do me a favor, crush that like button and make sure you're subscribed. It helps us get this info out to more patriots like you. Now, let's get weird with number 3. Number 3, 75 FK BRNO. At number 3, we have the Wildcard. This isn't just a replacement for 9mm, this is a completely different species. Meet the 75 FK BRNO. This round came out of the Czech Republic with a mission statement that sounds impossible. Deliver rifle ballistics from a handgun. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this practical for my everyday carry? Unless you're the size of a linebacker and have a very large bank account, probably not. But we have to include it because, strictly speaking, it makes the 9mm look like a toy. The 75 FK fires a unique projectile at over 2,000 feet per second, delivering nearly 900 foot-pounds of energy. That is firmly in .44 Magnum territory, but with the trajectory of a rifle. The company claims, and people have verified this, that you can hold sub-2-inch groups at 100 meters. Let me say that again, 100 meters, with a pistol. It effectively turns your handgun into a legitimate long-range offensive weapon. Is it expensive? Yes. The ammo is pricey, and the pistol costs as much as a used car. But as a technological achievement, it's the supercar of calibers. It proves that we haven't hit the ceiling of handgun performance yet. It's the apex predator of ballistics, and while it won't replace your Glock 19 tomorrow, it shows us just how far behind the 9mm really is. Number 2, 5.7 by 28mm. Coming in at number 2 is a round that feels like it was pulled right out of a science fiction movie, the 5.7 by 28mm. For a long time, this was unobtainium. It was expensive, the guns were rare, and it was mostly known for being the round used in Stargate or Counter-Strike. But in the last couple of years, the floodgates opened. Ruger, Palmetto State Armory, Smith & Wesson, everyone is making a 5.7 now. Here is why it's a serious threat to the 9mm. Speed and volume. The 5.7 zips along at rifle-like velocities, over 2,000 feet per second out of some barrels. It shoots so flat you almost don't have to account for bullet drop inside normal distances. And because the rounds are so light and thin, the capacity is ridiculous. Standard magazines hold 20, 23, sometimes 30 rounds flush fit. I hear the critics already. It's just a .22 Magnum, it has no stopping power. I disagree. Modern defensive loads from Speer and Federal have changed the game. When you combine that velocity with the fact that there is practically zero recoil, you can put 3 rounds on target in the time it takes to fire one 9mm. In a self-defense situation, accuracy under stress is everything. If you want a lightweight setup with massive capacity that literally anyone can shoot accurately, the 5.7 is the future. Number 1, 10mm auto. And that brings us to the top of the list. If 9mm is the dependable family sedan, then our number 1 pick is the lifted, heavy-duty 4x4. The true do-it-all king, the 10mm auto. This round isn't about compromise, it's about dominance. The 10mm has had a wild history. It was adopted by the FBI in the 80s, then dropped because some agents couldn't handle the recoil. But American shooters never let it die, and right now, it is exploding in popularity. Here is why it takes the number 1 spot over 9mm. Versatility. A 9mm is great for the grocery store, but a 10mm is great for the grocery store and the backcountry. With velocities between 1,200 and 1,600 feet per second and energy levels crushing 700 foot-pounds, this round hits like a sledgehammer.
It is the only semi-auto round on this list that I would trust to stop a two-legged threat in the city or a four-legged threat, like a bear or a hog, in the woods. And the best part? The guns have caught up. We have the Springfield XDM Elite, the SIG P320X10, and the Glock 20 Gen 5. These modern guns soak up that recoil, making the 10mm surprisingly controllable. Yes, it kicks more than a 9mm, but when you need to be absolutely sure that the threat stops right now, nothing beats the 10mm. It's not just a contender anymore. For many of us, it's the new standard. So there you have it. 5 calibers that prove the 9mm isn't the only game in town anymore. From the hyper-concealable 30 Super Carry to the absolute powerhouse that is the 10mm auto, we have options now that we didn't have 10 years ago. The 9mm is still a legend. It's not going away. But if you're looking for more power, more range, or more specialized performance, you might want to look at upgrading your everyday carry. Now I want to hear from you. I know the 10mm guys are going to be happy, but did I miss your favorite caliber? Are you sticking with the 9mm until the end of time? Let me know down in the comments. I read all of them. Thanks for watching. Train hard, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.